صل على رسول الكريم ما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
I would like you to join me in expressing our gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Lord of all dominions, the Lord of the heavens and the earth, the Master of the Day of Judgment, the knower of the seen and the unseen, the giver of life and the giver of death, the one who is above all, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we should express that gratitude that He has given us this opportunity for us to sit and give that opportunity for us to worship Him for these 20 odd days and for the remaining days of Ramadan and beyond. This is a gift that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to us. He gives His book to us. He gives guidance to us. The greatest gift that can be given to anybody is the guidance that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has bestowed us with. So we should be expressing our gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in everything that we do. Without Him, we are nothing. So we have to realize our position as one who is dependent, as one who are dependent upon Allah, in order to try to appreciate who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. The other point is I would also like you to join me in sending salutations and praise upon the chosen one, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidun Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidun Majid. The chosen one, the best of all creation, the person who will be given maqam mahmud, the most praised maqam that will be given to any being, the one where Jibreel alayhi salam stopped and he continued. This is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the one who sacrificed every moment of his life in order that he tried to ensure that this iman would reach us, safeguarded it, and he took all pain and all difficulty to make sure that happens. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on our behalf to increase the status of Rasulullah even more so, if it can be increased in any way, shape or form, and to also show our gratitude, to thank Rasulullah on our behalf for the service that he has done for this deen, that we are not in a position to express our thanks to him. Also, obviously, I have been very well looked after whilst I've been here. I will extend my gratitude and thanks to Qari Sahib here, who initially invited me, obviously, and then kidnapped me under false pretenses. I cannot express my thanks to him and also my gratitude to him as a host and as a friend, how he has looked after me, alhamdulillah. Likewise, through that, I want to extend that to Iqbal Bhai. I can't see him, maybe he's hiding somewhere here. There he is, who's also been a gracious host and has looked after me very well. And also to Sajid Bhai here, who was with me, who was only supposed to be here for 5 minutes. And to be honest, he hasn't left my side since we arrived. It's a long 5 minutes. Alhamdulillah, may Allah reward them and keep them happy. Ameen. And through them, I want to extend my thanks to the Masjid Committee, who have arranged this for you. And we should express our gratitude to them, A, for giving me an opportunity to come here and spend some time, and also so that you may also take benefit from this month of Ramadan. And there are many other people. I see my kitchen crew, as I call them, where we spent a few hours the first time round we came, talking all sorts of conversation upstairs. I can see Haji Sahib at the back there as well, wandering in there, and many others that I spent lots of time with, and it was very enjoyable for me. And for those who know me, I don't tend to travel much from Bradford. Once you're a Bradford lad, why would you want to go anywhere else? Everything is in Bradford. Why would I come to London for? So for me to go away from home and not see the sights of Bradford and the people of Bradford, but you've been all very gracious and kind in your time. And it's been like an extended family for me, alhamdulillah. So I've rarely missed Bradford. About 1 or 2 times. Other than that, alhamdulillah, I've enjoyed my stay here, and I want to extend my thanks to you all, mashallah, jazakumullah khair, for making my stay here very comfortable, and also that I've not been thinking too much of the greatest or second or third greatest city on the surface of the earth. But that aside, how would we have ever met? how would we have ever spent this time together? How is it that we would have listened to the Quran from Surah Al-Fatiha, Surah Al-Baqarah, all the way up to Surah Al-Nas? How is it that we would have crossed our paths, learned some deen? The only way has been the one connection that connects you and I, that connects all those dots that I just explained to you, is this masjid, is the house of Allah. It is the house of Allah that brings together people of various ethnicities, various backgrounds, different professions, different walks of life. But here when we stand in rows, we stand equal in front of the Creator, the Master of the Day of Judgment. So the masjid is our center point. The masjid is at the heart of the community. And if the masjid is dead, then the community is dead. If the masjid is alive, then the community is alive. So the test of the community is its masjid. So if you want to see the state of a community, go to the masjid. And if you go to the masjid and you see hardly one saf, two saf filled, whatever, then you should be very concerned about that community. So we have, alhamdulillah, and that's all praise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that we have frequented the masjid regularly, mashallah, over this month. And similarly, I've been very thankful for you and that you have partaken in the dars and in the lectures that we've had. And you stayed back from sacrifice your sleep, sacrifice something else to try to learn whatever I can share with you from my teachers, whatever I can share with you from the books that I've studied. But it should not stop today. It should not stop tomorrow. And neither should it stop on Eid day. You have a very good community, alhamdulillah. There's a lot of brotherly love I felt whilst I was here. This should continue. Yes, obviously shaitan will put obstacles in your way because he's soon going to come. He's rubbing his hands with glee. Yeah? He's rubbing his hands with glee and he is going to come for you and he will hit you from the left and he will hit you from the right and he will hit you from behind you and he will hit you from above you. He will come at you when you least suspect him and in a manner in which you least suspect him. So you have to be prepared for him. We're giving the warning now. The ulama are giving the warning now that this is what we should be prepared for. But if we are linked to our masjid, then we have protection in our masjid. This is why we should run to the masjid. Whenever we're feeling constraint and difficulty, and this is not just something I'm sharing, this is the example of your Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Whenever some parishani, whenever some difficulty fell upon him, or whenever he saw some calamity by looking at the weather or the wind or anything of that nature, the first place he went to was the masjid. Similarly, when he would return from traveling, he'd been gone a long time, and he would come back, and we know Rasulullah had a lot of love for his family. He had a lot of love for his children. He had a lot of love for his grandchildren. The first place he would go to is the masjid. So this masjid is our lifeline. This masjid is our heart. And we've got to keep the heart alive. As we start to get a little bit older and our beards are becoming grayer and our backs are becoming a little bit bent so that we can't tell the difference when we're in Qiyam and Ruku. You're sort of looking and thinking, is he in Qiyam or is he in Ruku? Looks like 50-50. Then the next generation which is coming up, they're the ones who will give the vigor to the masjid. The elderly, I accidentally pointed towards guys up there, I was just going like this. The elderly amongst us are there for their knowledge and their wisdom. But the vigor and the drive and the energy always comes from the youth. Always has. Our community has always had the wisdom of the elders and the vigor and enthusiasm of the youth, hand in hand. When you look at the Sahaba radiallahu anhum ajma'in, you will see the wise elderly Sahaba and you will see the young, vigorous, enthusiastic young Sahaba. And that's the model which makes the community work. That's the model which makes a community progress. And that's why we saw such a small community of the community of the Prophet spread so fast within such a short space of time. And we can make that change. We should not think that that was a people gone past. That is a people now. If it was about just a people that had gone past, then the Quran itself would not be for every people, for every time. The Quran would have been for the Arabs 1400 years ago. It wasn't. The Quran is as applicable now as it was 1400 years ago. But it's unfortunate that we have dissociated ourselves from the place of the Quran, yani the masjid, that we don't feel that anymore. We don't bring it alive because it just feels like old tales. But we can make a huge difference. Look at the number of people here. Look at the number of Muslims within our locality. Look at the number of Muslims in London. I think London is the highest, and certain boroughs in London have got more than 50% population is Muslim now. So we don't need to overtake London militantly. We can overtake London through our faith and our practice. We can demonstrate to the people around us what our faith is, what we've been given. But we're only going to get that when we're connected to the masjid. We're learning things. We're finding out new things. And the spirituality which will then phase out into our community, the barakah that we will get, that will go out into our lives and into our community, will make a massive change. So the masjid, remember, is the heart of the community. And look at the masjid. Come to the masjid. Pray your salah in the masjid. Sit. Have dars. Discuss things. Get to know one another. Find out what else is going on in the community. Who is suffering things? There was a number of questions which have come, which unfortunately I've not had a chance to tackle. We're talking about young people actually considering leaving the faith from your community. This is not some far out land. You know, we love to deal with problems that are taking place in the Middle East. We love to deal with problems that are taking place in India and Pakistan. Why? Because they're over there. We don't have to take much responsibility. We have problems on our own doorstep. I mentioned to you 2-3 bayans ago about those poor sisters in a northern city that are in the halat that they're in. That's happening here and now. Young people who are now questioning their faith as to whether they believe or not. That's happening right now. And we were never sent to just have a 9-to-5 day job and then go sit at home and relax. That was never our community. There's no basis for that. We were always sent to be active. We were always sent to keep striving forward, keep moving forward. So in order to do that, we need to revive our community. To revive our community, we have to link ourselves to the masjid. So you're going to start having, we've talked already about how can that happen, what can we do? We've talked about timetables, we've talked about the use of time, we've talked about many things, and I appreciate it's been quite compact and quite condensed, but there have been recordings made, and those are available on your own social media platforms, and they are available on our social media platforms. So once we kind of like catch up with ourselves, listen to them again. Follow it up. Okay, how can I make this practically realistic? How can I make this happen? What am I going to do? The first thing to do is connect with the masjid. When you come to the masjid and you see 3-4 people in the first saf, is your heart going to be, content? Are you going to be motivated that, wow, my community is, really on fire? Or are you going to start to lose heart yourself? When you come to the masjid and you're having to join the 3rd, 4th saf from the back, then you feel that this community is alive. This community is beating, it's there. But that's for each and every single one of us to take that responsibility, to ensure that we're doing that, whether it's from our elderly all the way down to our youth. And slowly, by that, we can make this kind of revolution. This revolution can easily happen. It can easily take place. Muslims are dominant in so many cities up and down this country now. Slowly we bring this revolution happen. People, then non-Muslims will see that look at these people. It shouldn't be that our streets are the most messy streets. It shouldn't be that our areas are the ones where the drugs are being sold or crime is taking place. Clearly there's something missing in our lives that's happening. Something is absent from our lives that's taking place. And once we see that change and the community see that change, then naturally they're going to be drawn towards us. But if we don't, then be warned that our community will slip and slip. And you might be thinking, I'm all right now. But it might be your children that also get caught up in that. And if it's not your children, it might be your grandchildren, or it might be your nephew, or it might be your niece. Somebody, somewhere, will get caught up in it. And unfortunately, it's only when the problem comes to our doorstep that our ears prick up and we suddenly care. When it's happening to somebody down the street, we don't care. It shouldn't be like that. We're a community. We talk about the ummah, that if one part of the body pains and it keeps the rest of the body awake, that's the ummah. We're talking here about a small community. So the masjid is the heart. Connect yourselves to the masjid. This is a center point. This is where you can all gather. This is where you can all come. This is where problems can be dealt with. And I've spoke to so many articulate, intelligent, professional people. And obviously one or two that aren't so bright. I won't name names. But there are people here who can make a massive change. Coming together, they can make a massive change. But they have to have the heart and the will to want to make that change. And slowly, inshallah ta'ala, through the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through the du'as of our pious scholars, you will start to see that change. But the key message I want to leave you with, inshallah ta'ala, before I finish, is keep your connections with the masjid. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us for any errors that we have made whilst I've spent my time here and throughout this month of Ramadan. May He forgive us and overlook that. May He reward us greatly for any little good deed we've done. May He make our hearts sincere. May He remove any riyah that was accidentally affected our amal, that has polluted our amal. May He remove that and accept it, because at the end of the day, we're weak people and we will unfortunately mix our acts of worship with things which are inappropriate. So may Allah SWT overlook that and accept it. May He then bestow greatness upon us, upon our families at home, upon our children, and also be a means for our future generations. Ameen. And may He accept us in His mercy, and may Allah SWT, because of this month of Ramadan, give us a good abode in the hereafter, and bless us with all the pious and resurrect us with all the pious. Ameen. Wa akhiru da'wana. And alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.